Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Ananda Rose. Thank you for joining me today. It's been ages since we did an interview on the channel. And for whatever reason, we're in a Mercury retrograde and we're doing it. It started like bang on the Mercury retrograde, beginning of it, right? Welcome today and join me in welcoming Karen Jewitt. Welcome, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Rose. Hello. Very well, thank you.
So good to have you here talking to me because this was like an idea I put out like maybe 6 months ago, and we just never got around to it, right?
That's right. Yes, there was
Yeah,
always something coming up, and that's all right. It's maybe there's more to share with you now with the months that have gone by. So
I
it's lovely to be
agree.
with you.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. And I'm just appreciative that you've given me your time because I do love doing these
Welcome.
interviews, and it's like the first one for the year, and it's like, yeah, I'm so excited, and it's starting on the Mercury retrograde, so great for
Oh.
us. So everybody, when I say Karen Jewitt, you think, oh, I probably heard that. Oh, I've heard that somewhere. If you watch the channels regularly, if you watch Light Language Messenger regularly, and you listen to all the videos we put out there, especially the shorts with the toning and the different sceneries, Karen is that lady. That's who does it. Yeah, she does the beautiful toning. She comes up with
Thank you.
songs. She's quite lyrical, writing lyrics and toning it and singing it in and bringing light codes through for us. And thank you so much for that. I know all our supporters on Light Language Messenger, our subscribers will absolutely love and adore it because they
Thank
watch it,
you.
they like it, all of that. And so, Karen, thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Rose, for the opportunity to share it. You brought
You're
that
very,
out of me. You really did in every
I'm
way.
glad.
I'm very grateful. So grateful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure. That's what I'm supposed to do, bring people out to where they need to be and help them take that journey if that's what they require. Not everybody needs that, but if people do, need to come out, I'll bring them out. Right, Karen. Today, I was thinking, what would I be asking you? And what I'm asking today is, firstly, we're going to talk about Karen a little bit, and then we're going to go to talk about where she is currently, the location she is currently, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the location. And then if she feels intuitively guided, Karen might bring through some toning and light codes for us. So I hope that's all good, and let's go for it. Karen, you are on this awakening journey, and we met because I think you found one of my links to a workshop that I was running, and I think it must be the Light Language three-part series, 343 series last year sometime, right? And so, and at that time, I remember you saying, like, you've started your awakening journey, and how long would it have been then that you started your process of transformation?
Really, it was in 2020. I've
Okay.
always had signs and been quite tuned in all my life, but especially in 2020, yes, I woke up to a lot of truths, and and then after that, it was a beautifully guided process. I realize that now, looking back on it, how it was all designed as it is for us, tailor
Mm,
made, really, and I had a lot of fear and a lot of shocks with things I discovered. And then I got very close to Holy Mary, Mother Mary, and there was a rosary that was happening on YouTube around about that time every night, and it was beautiful to pick up on that. And so I would
okay.
tune in, and the singing and everything was beautiful. So I got very close there, and that was another part of it, of that time and that awakening. And then when I heard you, Rose, maybe 3 years ago, I was on my own for that weekend. It was very
Yeah.
rare to be on my own.
Okay.
And I heard your lovely voice, one of your video for the first time I heard you on YouTube.
Okay.
And I really resonated with your voice and what you said. And I was in the kitchen doing things, and I just had you on for the whole time. And then I thought, your voice is so familiar. So I got in touch with you. I think I'd shared a few comments on things on your video,
Yes, you did.
and
Yes.
you responded. And so then I just asked you if you had worked on radio, because I used to live, this was the synchronicity that brought us together as well. I lived in Taranaki in New Zealand
That's
briefly.
right.
And you
Yes.
said, yes, indeed, you have done radio, because I thought I'd heard you on the radio. I know you were coming from Auckland, but it's still very possible because
Yeah.
the voice was so familiar. But then again, maybe it's another kind of familiar. But I mentioned Taranaki, and you told me that you had a connection there where you would go to work there. So
Yes.
yeah, we had that lovely, synchronicity. And then you invited me to connect with Archangel Metatron. We had a group, and that
Yes,
was
that's right.
so instrumental in having me speak. I'd never been on a Zoom in my life till then,
Okay.
or 2 years ago, and to speak to like-minded souls, that was new as well. So it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and that really activated my voice, my throat chakra, I guess. And then after that, everything flowed. When you heard one of my poems, you said you'd like to, put that out, and I was shocked and delighted, and that was the start. That was my first YouTube video. Yes, that was quite a moment, and it flowed from there. But it was, you activating me and encouraging me and supporting me, and I just, yeah, blossomed out of my shyness and everything. Yeah. So thank
Wow,
you.
Karen. Some of that I didn't remember. Must be honest. I
Oh.
didn't know you were going to say that. It was like some, I didn't know you were going to say that. There was like some of that I didn't remember. But I know that you'd lived in the Taranaki and you had, or in Taranaki, and you lived there for a short while, and then years ago, and then you moved back. You went back overseas, and we definitely have that connection. And if you heard me on radio, it would probably been because of somebody playing it on the internet or something. Because whilst it doesn't, we're in Auckland, and the radio station doesn't go that far down. But if they're listening online, because you can listen online to the radio, then that's possible. That's where you would have heard it. But I have such a strong connection to Taranaki, to the mountain in particular.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, and I always say Mount Egmont Taranaki. That's how I call it because it's such an amazing mountain, and I always say there's a giant living under that mountain because it just gives me that feeling, and it's just so amazing, right?
Yeah, it
And the
is.
Taranaki itself, the area is so beautiful because you've got everything. You've got the mountains, you've got the forests, you've got the sea, and
Yeah,
shopping is great, and the food is great,
yeah,
and all the rural
yeah.
land. Pretty awesome. But we're
Wonderful place.
digressing as I can easily do. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
A wonderful place.
Wonderful place.
Yeah,
So, I didn't realize how profound that Archangel Metatron
played a big
membership
role.
was. I didn't realize how profound that was, but it was kind of very good to actually get to the grassroots and salt of the earth situations in terms of everybody who was involved in it, how everyone got to know each other and how everyone got to express themselves, because that was the whole idea of that. It was about saying, how do you live your daily life? And that membership was to help people live daily from in this transformational process. So it's pretty awesome. And that's the thing. I loved that Archangel Metatron
Yeah,
Transformers membership. It's pretty awesome, eh? The people were good.
it really was, and it was transformative,
Mm.
and yes, he made the energy really made itself known, and I would start to see a lot of beautiful orange on people and
Yeah,
yellow, and in a striking way,
yeah.
but yes, it was definitely very powerful. So it was lovely to work with that beautiful light. Yeah,
Yes, I
in
love
charge of
that.
in charge of all of our ascension light. So it was very fitting.
Very fitting. I want to
Mhm.
say something before I forget it. Now, in the time that I've gotten to know you, for me, it's very obvious that you have absorbed and you have learned, and because you talk about the violet flame, you talk about different archangels and how they can help us in our sacred circle gatherings, or whenever we've done Archangel Metatron Transformers membership meetings. I would not say that that you started your journey in 2020. I always feel like you've started your journey longer than that because you know so much. You use so much, you believe so much with a pure heart. That is very obvious.
Oh, that's
So,
thank you.
so I think you're doing a lot more in the background without realizing it, because it's not just that membership that membership contributed, but I think you on your own, as you stand on your own, you've been a very, very diligent with your process in your transformation process. And so that's my observation.
I think so, Rose. I think with all the light coming in, yes. And I felt like a sponge, just wanting to remember. I'm going to say learn, but I suppose
Yeah.
remember, and things that come into our awareness. We think we're learning, but that's triggering the memories. And I have felt like that when I was having my babies. I was like a sponge with all of the information when I was pregnant. I loved
Mm,
every aspect of it. Um, and so it's the same. Yes, this,
yeah.
awakening and becoming more who we really are, and coming from our soul, less from our ego mind. That's yeah, that's it has yeah, felt like a lot of is coming back, and we're remembering
Yeah.
so much. Yeah,
So
so wonderful.
one of the things that was happening in the last 5 years was that a lot of people were suddenly waking up and getting their tools, their gifts coming to the forefront, like the gifts coming online. And even though they had not, like they hadn't taken the journey like some of us have, there's a lot of people that have been on the journey for like maybe more than 10 years or maybe more than 20 years, right? By the time it was 2020. But one of the things that was noticeable, like maybe 2022, was that there were a lot of people coming online with the gifts, but they hadn't had that background. They hadn't had that background. And so sometimes they were using the gifts, but they were not using it with the maturity level that was, the maturity level didn't match the gifts that they were coming online with. Now, when we met, one thing was very evident for me was that your gifts had come online, but you obviously had even though your gifts had come online, you were still you had this maturity, even though you hadn't had the 10 years or the 20 years background in it, but you had the maturity to absorb, to know when to talk about it, to whom to speak about it with, how to navigate that. Because, like, I had a lady tell me in 2023, she was telling me about how she does healing. She'd come online and I'd said, "Oh, that's great." And she said, "Oh, something came up in the conversation." And she said, "Oh, you've got rheumatoid arthritis. I can heal you." And then she heard about someone else having some issue. I can heal that person. And I had to say thank you so much, because I really appreciate somebody offering healing to me. But I had to say, like for me personally, I had to check myself, like, did I have an attitude about it? Or was I, did I, because usually and I also, or whether I just was saying no, saying thank you, but I'll get back to you and all of that, because I wanted to tune into my higher self about it. So this is the example I give to say people went online, but they weren't, the ego was not matching the online tools or the tools coming online. So we never had this with you in terms of you coming online, because you came online and you did what you were just you, and you were tuning into what was coming through, and you were just owning it. And I really love that.
Oh, that's interesting observation. Thank you, Rose.
Yeah. And so, Karen, we didn't talk. I just wanted us to talk about the spiritual side of things, and I will say this. I'm going to talk a little bit about something personal. Now, we didn't talk about me talking about this personal. And if you don't want to answer the question, you can always say, "No, Rose, I don't want to answer that question." And I'm okay with that. We are always okay with that on the channel. You have a famous person in your life, don't you, that won a Eurovision contest. Are
My lovely dad. Yes.
you okay to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. Yes, yes, that was in 1966. and it catapulted him in Ireland then to stardom. And he was in a band, and it was very much the show band era. But when he came back from Naples, where they had that Eurovision contest that year, the airport was just filled with thousands of people. And then he had screaming girls and all of
He
that
had a
awful
Beatles,
stuff,
he had a
awful
Beatles
to deal
season.
with. But yeah, it was a magical time for him, and he was very charismatic. His voice got richer as he got older, and he was a musician all his life. Yes, he passed away over 20 years ago now. But yes, that was lovely growing up, with him, with playing his guitar, and yeah, and his life evolved because he was with a show band, and then he met his second wife, and it evolved into playing. She played ballads,
Okay.
so their music sort of they merged, and they emigrated to America then, and they were working there, with the Irish
Yeah.
music. But yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I couldn't help myself. I had to ask you about your famous dad. Please tell us, are you allowed to tell us his name?
Yes, well, he was born James, Christian James, but he was called Butch Moore, and it was the Capitol Show Band in Dublin, which
Okay.
was very big in the 60s. Yeah, and there were
Awesome.
all of the lineup were wonderful musicians in that band, very accomplished musicians.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was a lovely
Mm.
time where they're all in suits and they're all looking so smart and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, and
great.
playing their instruments and just everybody screaming, oh, going crazy. Like the
Yeah,
60s. Yeah,
that's right.
it happened in the 60s.
I know, and
Wow.
he's been with me so much on my journey, and especially with where I am now. He's been with me. The signs are incredible. Yeah.
Well, I didn't doubt that. I just feel like he's also helped you have the courage to do the music you're doing
Oh,
at the
that's
moment.
right, Rose. I was thinking that he must be smiling. In fact, when I did our first recorded session all together with our group in the circle, and we had it was a new moon gathering, and it was the first time I was singing, and it was recorded. And when I came outside to the garden, the sun was shining. It was early in the morning, and there were builders a few doors down, and the song on their radio was "The House of the Rising Sun," and that my dad sang that song with such soul. Oh, whenever I hear it,
Wow.
it's I don't even know sadly who the original was who sang, but it's my dad. It is the only one I connect with it. But a wonderful song. But I heard that on the radio, and I thought, oh yeah, my dad, he was with me there because that was my first time singing.
That's
So,
awesome. That is so awesome.
yeah.
Karen, is there anything else you want to tell us about that aspect about your dad or that you think our audience should know or about your life? Because we're moving on to the
Well,
next part.
yes, I was just going to say, and we'll talk about where I am in a minute, but it was taking steps to get here and just being brave enough and to follow the synchronicities. And when I got to the train station in London, this was a few weeks ago, I was at Paddington, that's when it hit me because I'd been staying with my son for a couple of months, which was lovely. And when I got to the train station, I just had my backpack, my case, got out of the taxi, and then it really hit me. It's like, wow, this is it. I'm on my own, like for the first time in my life, and I'm going somewhere, but it's just me. So it didn't really turn into a panic. It was an exciting feeling. And I thought, I'm having an adventure. But I looked, as I felt that moment of, oh, I'm on my own, I looked for directions at the train station and I saw Tom Moore, the words on a sign in the station. Now, Tom Moore is my dad's father, so my granddad.
Yeah.
And I looked and I couldn't quite believe it. And then underneath the sign, the words, "You'll never walk alone."
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And that was related to something. There's another, a man called Tom Moore in England, and he came to the fore a few years ago, a war veteran, I believe. So that was greeting me just when I had that moment. And then when I arrived where I am now, the first thing I saw was a soap bottle in the bathroom of the place I just arrived at, and it was Moore. The name of the soap was Moore, with the writing underneath, "Home Body, Home Soul."
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. So they were there at the start of this journey as I'm leaving, and they were there, when I arrived. So that's a beautiful feeling. They
Very good.
know what's happening, and they've got me. Yeah, beautiful.
Well, good on
But for
you.
everybody, that is how it is. Our family, they haven't gone anywhere, those who've passed over. And
Yeah.
especially with our ascension, with what's happening, they're all cheering us on. We hear
Yeah.
about the galactic family of light. They are all cheering us on. And so are our ancestors, because that was my granddad who hadn't come through before to see
Yeah.
Tom here. So they are all, you know, very excited about what's happening with us.
Yes. Holding up the baton. Holding not the baton, but the flag, the victory flag. I'll say that because that's
Yeah.
it. And I feel like right now there's a real strong sense of the ancestors being around. Really strong sense of the ancestors being around, helping
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're
Great.
clearing stuff for them. We're clearing
Yeah.
a lot, everything that we're going through. So it's really beautiful how it all evolves. It's just getting more and more beautiful, Rose.
I agree. I agree. Karen, let the cat out the bag. Where are you in the world?
I have returned to Avalon. I am in Glastonbury, and it is just the most wonderful place. This is the happiest that I've ever been, I have to say.
Wow.
My
Wow.
first time being here. So it's wonderful.
That's quite a statement to make. This is the happiest that I've
Yeah.
ever been. But
Yeah.
Avalon, man, I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, especially that if we've had lifetimes in
Mm.
Avalon, that's because I know I have. And obviously you have because now you went back there. So,
Yes.
I've known I have lifetimes in Avalon since I was probably old enough to read. And I was reading about King Arthur and Merlin, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Wonderful.
So, what's Avalon or Glastonbury like then? From your
It,
perspective, I know lots of people have excuse me, lots of things to say, but what is your experience?
well, I was so drawn to the tour. And
Yes.
when I got the feeling to come 2 or 3 months ago, I'd thought about it 2 years ago. And then it didn't happen. So the timing, is everything in life. And when I looked at it a few weeks ago, I was so drawn when I saw the images of the Tor and St. Michael's Tower. And then one evening when I was looking at it, I actually became very hot. And I thought, oh, it's activating me looking at
Yeah.
this image. Um, and I was so excited to come here. And that was the first thing I did, was, yeah, take the steps up there. And it's spectacular, the view and the energy there. But yes, what I would say is every day it is magical. It is an enchanting place, and just going out to get my shopping yesterday. So many magical encounters with people. It's so many synchronicities, and that is the word a lot of people, when you meet them in the coffee shop or up on the tour and you get talking, they will all talk about the synchronicities here, and they are incredible. So, I was walking along one of the laneways. Where I'm staying now, the tour is just behind me here, and I walk around the side of the house and I go up, around the country roads. There's a tree in the middle, and you go right to the tour and left into the town. So the
Okay.
magic tree. So I go up, and I saw in on the laneway, because there's no cars even, it's very quiet, and there was a young man with a beard, and he had a couple of blankets wrapped around him, lovely blankets. One was a red tartan one, and he didn't make eye contact, and he was going into a field. And then I just noticed as I walked by his tent. So he's living there. And I thought, oh, good for him. He's very free. And so I walked up to the tour. And that night, I had an event to go to. I bought a ticket to go to something at the church, St. John's Church. And it was a sound and light, anchoring in the Christ light, an experience. So I went in, other people had arrived, and I sat on a bench, and I noticed the same young man is beside me, sitting with his blanket on the
Wow.
bench. And again, he didn't make eye contact, he was pretty shy. We were invited to get up and hold hands. to start and to chant Om to start the evening, and he was reluctant. So we all gathered, but one of the men encouraged him to come up. So I'd already moved and gone into the circle. And I realized then he was standing behind me, and then we were holding hands. So
Wow.
from seeing him in the laneway earlier, there he is, we're holding hands then. I've had a lot of moments like that. In the coffee shop recently, I met a lovely older Irish lady, and she came here 15 years ago with her husband, who wasn't well. So they came here for healing and as pilgrims, she said, and they stayed. And she sings to the waters at the White Spring nearby.
Ah,
And it's a
wow.
temple. I've yet to
Yeah,
visit this, so I'm
yeah,
looking forward
yeah.
to that. And she sings to the waters. So and she heard my accent. I admired her green shawl, and that she said, "Oh, you're Irish. I'll get my coffee and come and sit with you." And then we had an amazing conversation. Um, a man came in and sat beside us, and I recognized him, and he smiled, and he recognized me, and that was because coming down from the tour a few days ago, usually I just listen to the birds, and it was very windy, and I wanted to listen to a certain song for a reason, so I put my headphones on, sitting on the tour for a while, and on the way down the steps, I looked, there was nobody, so I was dancing. I was dancing as I came down a few steps. And suddenly this beaming face looked at me. I don't know where he came from, long, like Rastafarian hair, and he had the most beautiful smile. And he was having a good chuckle at me dancing. Well, in the coffee shop with the elderly lady, he comes in and sits beside me. And so we recognized each other, and there's just so many lovely, and then you're having conversations, spiritual conversations. So that's new. I've never had that experience before. To be in a
It's,
town where
yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
talking about their soul evolving and coming here to heal, and the lady singing to the waters, um, and they all say the same thing. Most people who come and visit, they come back, they return, and so many people come and they stay and they feel this is home, and you're drawn to it at a certain time. They all feel that. So,
Hmm.
but a lot of magic.
I was gonna say lots of magic, lots of magic. And you've been having some magical moments too with different things, haven't you?
Yes. I mean, my second time going to the tour, I thought I'll go at sunset. I knew the sun would be shining. I looked and I thought I'd go up because it was raining all day. And I'm sitting outside, there's a giant compass. So I sat there for a while looking at St. Michael's Tower. And that is so special, to be in there as well and to imagine the singing, and the prayers that would have been, that would be happening all those years ago. Um, I was sitting on the compass, and the scenery is absolutely stunning of Somerset. And I heard this just mighty, powerful drumming suddenly
Okay.
as the sun went down, and that was coming from inside the tor. And a wonderful soul. He has been guided by Archangel Michael, he said, to use his drum to anchor in Christ light here in the heart chakra of the planet, and to go out to the world, and using no words and no structure, just music.
Well,
So
that's
that's his mission.
that's yeah,
That's his
that's interesting.
very
Wow.
powerful drumming, and I felt
Mm,
it in the building when I went into the tower. It reverberates, and you feel that in your body and in your chest.
mm.
Yeah. So that was again an incredible thing to experience and
Wow.
meet somebody who's talking about things that previously I'd only hear on YouTube, on
Yes,
lovely
yes.
spiritual videos. But this is in my world now when I go for a walk.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. Karen, so have you had any experiences with the Fae whilst you're there?
Um, yeah, well, I always feel them and connect in with them, Rose. Yes.
Yeah,
And even,
yeah.
yes, just connecting in with the daffodils have come out now. So
Yeah.
I stop and I chat to them and I smile, and then they have a little nod, in the wind. But yes, I'm taking pictures of them, and I have had some, melodies come through. So yes, I had an experience on the tour a few nights ago at sunset again, and the drum was playing. And I stood outside on the grass to connect in with Mother Earth and to connect in with the fairies. And I asked them to dance with me. I said, I'm going to, have a little dance here. I looked around. There were a few people, but nobody, it doesn't matter. People are, yeah, doing the same thing, really. So it was lovely. So I moved my feet a little bit. And there was a lady who started really dancing, and she was very small, had a skirt. She looked very much like a fairy, and turned out she's a doctor here. But she was lost in the drumming, and she danced.
Okay.
That was so magical.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure. Wow.
and this is the fairy moment. It's coming to me after that, because I had connected in with the fairies and said to them, we'll have a dance. Um, I sat inside to listen to the drumming. A lovely little girl came in with her mum. So she had unicorn trousers and she was really excited about the drumming. And she looked at me and she said, We've just had a walk and I've seen a waterfall. I said, Oh, that's beautiful. And she said, And there were fairies there. So I thought, wow. So we were able to talk about fairies. And I said, I've had fairies in my back garden. She said, Really? And I said, I had a honeysuckle arch, a bush, and the fairies were there. They love the honeysuckle, and I have photographs. She said, Can I see one? So we went inside the tower, and I opened up my phone and found a few little fairy pictures where there are actually little faces. So that she was just her expression, and her mums as well. They loved it. So that was really
Awesome.
magical to share that,
Mm.
And so yeah, so the fairies, they were there and brought that little girl in.
Yeah.
These are the
Wow.
conversations here. Yeah.
Sounds like it's a very relaxed community and very everybody's in tune and sync and in sync with each other, with the spirituality, with everything that's going on. And that's
Very
really
authentic.
awesome. Yeah, very
They
authentic.
can, they can be their authentic selves. That's
Mm.
really what I see. That is beautiful. And that's
Yeah.
what we all dream of,
Yeah.
it is being able to connect like that. And it really is, like golden threads running through
Hmm.
Glastonbury,
Yeah.
golden threads of divine light, and the synchronicities connect us all in a lovely
Yeah.
way, because people
Absolutely.
are on that lovely frequency. And I feel a different level of peace here when I'm sitting on my own. And
Mm.
the love, I've had a lot of heart activations and I can feel movement, but I really feel deep peace and love, Rose, in a new way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's incredible. I heard there are crystals in caves underneath the Tor, and I heard
Okay.
that they were activated in
Okay.
recent few years. So that's lovely. That's incredible. When you think about that and feel that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wow. There's a lot of wow in this, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a
there
lot
is.
because I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's my dream to be in Glastonbury at some point or the other. I've always
Oh,
wanted to
wonderful.
go, and I'm probably going to, but
Mhm.
the time hasn't happened yet. But I can imagine, like you might go there and say, I don't actually want to leave, and my next question was going to be, have we lost you to Glastonbury then?
It would be lovely to stay. I do feel that it really feels the place for me, and it feels like home. And you won't lose me at all, Rose. And yeah, we're finding a lot here, a lot of treasure
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
we
I know we
share.
won't lose you. But I say it jokingly because it does feel like perhaps that is your place. But
It
that's
really
not for me to say. Obviously, you'll know
is.
for yourself. And over time you'll work it out. You'll find if you're meant to stay there, Karen, you're gonna come across the little house you're gonna live in. And then you can say,
Yeah,
this
it
is
will
it.
all work
I've
out.
arrived. I'm gonna stay here.
That's right, because we're very much guided. We're in service, and we may be guided to a place and want to stay forever, but it may be just a couple of years or so.
Yeah.
But there's a reason we're here. we're activated to carry out our missions. So it would be a beautiful gift if it was, yeah, to be
Yeah.
here for length of time. I would love that. Yeah.
So many people are going through this, right? Going through this sudden change, sudden realization, sudden like these epiphanies that are happening, and you're like, oh no, I can't do that, what I've been doing anymore. I have to move there or do this or whatever. Really
Mhm.
good. Karen, I am conscious that we can now bring some light codes through if you feel like it. And I really feel it's about where you're on, where you're standing, where you're sitting, your feet are planted. How do you feel about bringing something in energetically?
Yes, thank you, Rose. That would be lovely.
So just take a moment to breathe. And whilst Karen is tuning in, everybody.
Oh, 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 I am the light, and the light I am. I am the light, and the light I am. I am the light, and the light I am. I am the light, and the light I am. I am the light, and the light I am. I am the light, and the light I am. I am the light, I am the light, I am the light, and the light I am.
Mm. Mm. Every time you sing, I want to do a light language. That's really interesting. Let's try it. You can repeat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Rose. I am the light, and the light I am.
Kurama
I am the light, and the light I am. I am the and the light.
Sorry, I'm
Oh, that's
distracting
so
you.
sweet. No, I was wanting to hear more, Rose. That's so
Yeah,
lovely.
Karan, yeah. We must do a recording one of the days where
Oh,
send me a recording and I will do a light language and we'll put that out
beautiful.
because I actually just feel every time, even when you were doing your toning, I wanted to sing a light language. But it's good. We did a little bit. We tried it. Anything can happen on
Yeah.
this show. So yeah.
And I remember when we did an elemental one, a very fairy one, you joined in with that one night, and that was
Yeah.
incredible. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
if we
yeah,
have time, we
maybe
have
we'll
time.
use the recordings to do something to mix it up, eh?
Yes.
Thank you. That was beautiful. That
Oh,
was
thank
beautiful. And
you.
that I am the light is just amazing. And it's got such amazing light codes in it.
Mm, it's lovely,
Yeah.
and it's nice to think of it when we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed in any way, just
Very
to say
calming.
words or yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, very calming.
it's lovely.
Oh, yes. Karen, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Oh, it's
But
been a
before we
pleasure.
go, sorry, before we go, is there something else? Is there anything else you want to say to us that we didn't talk about and that you'd like to share with our audience?
Just to say, Rose, as I have just discovered, as we're always evolving, and it's so beautiful, to follow the synchronicities that you might receive, to take the steps. I keep hearing about the word steps. And before I came, I fell in love with a song about taking baby steps. The girl is singing, and it resonated. Everything she's singing was about my life changing and being, having, just the strength and the courage to take the steps on your own. And
Yeah,
then when I arrive, the first thing I do is I take the steps. There are many steps that go around, go up the tour. So I was singing that going up this song. But just to, yes, just to tune into your heart and to take those steps that might be coming to you in synchronicities about making maybe changes in your life, because it's your soul
yeah,
guiding you. That's to the fore. And your feet, I am moving. I'm a different little creature here, and I'm out walking with my backpack. I wasn't doing that in Yorkshire or London very much. So I'm out, and I think, what is it about my feet now? But I think it's because I'm coming from my soul. And when you come from, you connect into your core, your feet will take you, and it's because your soul is to the core. You're coming from your core, and your soul is to the fore. That's it. Your soul is to the fore, and your feet will take you. And what you find there can be very beautiful. Your soul will not take you where you're not meant to be. So it's just coming out of your mind or your fears and allowing it. So I'm so grateful that
yeah.
I I'm doing that, and it has changed everything. So it's lovely, really lovely.
That was very beautifully said and makes so much sense. And it's so true. It's so real, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it really is. And you
So,
might read about it or think about it, but when you do it, yes, because the universe opens up to you then and sees,
mm,
oh, she's here now, and she's following those steps. Right now, we're going to present her with what's next. What will assist her. That's what I have found. I really have.
yes.
So you feel
Yeah.
supported. It's the opposite of thinking you'll feel alone, and you
Yeah.
will be supported.
Yeah. Just
So
take the step.
the
Take the step
universe.
and you'll get the support. I guess that's what that means is you're saying, right?
Right, Rose.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
time. I really
It's
appreciate that
been
we got it off the
wonderful.
ground. We did this today.
We did it. It's been wonderful to see you and connect with you, Rose. Thank you so much, and thank you for everything.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you for everything because you do a lot
Wonderful.
for the for Light Language Messenger, and I appreciate that.
It's a joy.
Yeah, wow, it is a joy. Well, friends, thank you so much for watching with us today, for taking this journey with us today. I hope you found it entertaining, and I also hope that, it spurs you on in your journey, and that you have taken a few pointers from Karen's experience and where she is right now, and that you tuned into the light codes that she brought through. And We will catch you next time. Remember to like the videos, share it, and comment with them, and subscribe to the channel, of course. I'll catch you next time, everybody. Thank you,
Thank you so
Karen.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Take
Thank
care. Bye
you.
bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone. Catch you next time.